Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in to segment 3 of Smacktalk. I'm Tony Gaglione.
I'm Shawn Adams.
In segment 3 we're going to talk about soccer and only soccer because, as you know, we love soccer. Right now we're watching a replay of the Chicago Fire Kansas City game that happened a couple days ago. Chicago won that game 1-0, and it made the table in the MLS so tight in both conferences that it's insane. Right now, in the Eastern Conference, Montreal is
the Montreal Impact,
New York Red Bulls are in second, and Kansas City's in third. However, Kansas City was in first not too long ago.
Yeah, not too long ago,
They've dropped off. There's a 7-point separation between 7 teams to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
right
so
now.
that means you get 3 points for a win. So 2 wins from either of those teams, and any of those teams in the 7 fail to win a game. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about major shifting, and that's kind of what happened to Kansas City. They lost this game to Chicago. I think they drew the game before that, and Montreal won, New York won, and I want to say Philadelphia won.
Philadelphia did win. Yeah. They moved up to the 3rd spot, the Union. Freddie Adu, who's still hanging around the MLS.
Yeah. And not only that, but in the Western Conference as well, you got Real Salt Lake, who's in first place, LA Galaxies, who's won 5 straight games.
Yes, Donovan scored their game winner in the last game on their
They're in
straight.
second place. Then you have Colorado and Portland, and then Seattle. There was only 8 points separating 6 teams there. So again, we've got...
And the moves that have been made, like Clint Dempsey going to Seattle.
Yeah, they just won against the Portland Timbers.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, what's going on, because moves are being made and guys are getting better. Teams are getting better just by one player. Clint Dempsey's going to make Seattle a heck of a lot better.
Dangerous in the playoffs.
Mike McGee obviously made Chicago a contender.
Best trade I've seen in the MLS.
Yeah, definitely. Time. And he's up for MVP in the MLS, as you all know. I say it all the time. And the Western Conference itself has become jam-packed right now with the Clint Dempsey trade, and Portland's falling off as Seattle's coming up.
Yeah, so Portland started off that season with the 14 straight no losses. They either drew or win their games.
Yeah.
And they were in first place for a long time, and now they're slipping down the... Colorado, the Rapids, just under the radar.
Yeah, who would have thought that the Rapids would be in the top 4?
I took a picture with them when they played Chivas at New Orleans, and at that time they're like in dead last. Chivas was ahead of them, and now,
they've been in last for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, years. I mean, they have a history. They used to be good in the MLS, but...
Yeah, now,
as far as the last 5
as far as the
years
MLS, the West, most people pick Columbus to be ahead of Colorado, and then at the bottom, and here Colorado, they're sitting there in 3rd place. Granted, there's only 8 points, and there's like 3 points separating them from Seattle and Portland, but that can change. I mean, in a matter of weeks here, we could have a whole new different standing. Although Real Salt Lake has 45 points, so they're a little bit better off in first place.
They've been hot. I mean, they've been just killing people lately.
They play that defense, man.
You know what's killing me is it's in the hockey too. Hockey and soccer seem to have the craziest conferences you'll ever see in your life. Like the Eastern Conference starts at Ohio for soccer, and everything west of that is the Western Conference. Yeah. It's like no teams go out west in hockey, and no teams go out west in soccer.
Yeah. Speaking of world soccer, Thiago Alcantara, who just recently moved from Barcelona to Bayern Munich. His old coach, Pep Guardiola, is now a coach of Bayern Munich. He's injured. He'll be out till November. So they made a big money move to get this guy. And now he's going to be out, till November, which is a big chunk of the season. I mean, the season's going to stay till May, but still, those are a lot of games. That's, the German Super DFB Cup, which is the German Cup. Bundesliga games, and as well as Champions League will have started by that time. Or Bayern's group stages will have started by that time.
Yeah, which is not going to make that much of a difference because Bayern's going to dominate the group stage.
Good thing they held on to Luis Gustavo too.
Yeah.
But other things too. Over the weekend in the EPL, the English Premier League, the Barclays Premier League, 2 surprises. Liverpool won 1-0 to West Brom. Daniel Sturridge scored again the only goal. He's got 2 goals in the season, 2 straight 1-0 victories. They play Manchester United next Sunday. And then
now, let's talk about that for a second, because Liverpool beat, I think, Sunderland in the first game. And then they beat a West Brom team who was hyped up to be something that it looks like they're not.
Yeah.
So the quality of competition is really not there yet. So when you're winning 1-0 against these kind of teams,
but I mean, you don't have Luis Suarez. He's only got 4 more games left.
That's true. But I don't know who they play in the next couple games. But if it is a quality opponent, like
they play Man U. They play Man U Sunday.
if they can hold up with Man U and maybe draw or even win the game, then I'm going to call them a contender right away.
Yeah. As well as Tottenham beat Swansea City, who's now lost 2 straight games, Swansea, to start the season. Roberto Soldado, their big marquee striker signing, scored a goal again, and he's the only goal scorer for them. Speaking of Tottenham, it's been stated out there that Gareth Bale will be sold, a possible £86 million move to Real Madrid, although as you informed me of, there are some other teams getting involved now. Now that they've said
Fox
he's for
Soccer
sale.
reported that there was one more team that got involved. They won't say who because they prefer to remain anonymous.
Arsenal. Whatever.
Either way, the Gareth Bale move is going to be a world record. Previously, the world record was Ronaldo
For
with
80
million.
Yeah.
80 million.
Yeah, so this is going to break the record. And Gareth Bale deserves it, but I worry about Tottenham playing in the Europa League, and then, we've seen this. Time and time again, they're up in the table, and they're talking about, we're going to finish above Arsenal, da-da-da, and then they drop, Arsenal rises. Speaking of Man U, today Man U and Chelsea played to a boring 0-0 draw.
I was excited, overly excited. I had my Rooney jersey on. I had my Man U hat on. I was in the living room. I had my food and my drink, and I was watching it and
Fell asleep.
I was fighting it.
I watched a little bit of the game, and I did see a horrendous dive attempt by Ashley Cole.
Oh, man.
He literally got touched on his waist, touched, like feathered, and then he takes a step, then he's like, I got touched in the box.
Yeah.
Let me dive. And the ref's just like,
that's one thing about soccer I don't like. I mean, soccer, I used to hate on it all the time, as you know, Shawn, and then I got into it, and I'm hugely into it now, but that's the only thing that kills me. If anybody is really into soccer, they remember the Ghana USA game.
Yeah.
When Ghana went up by a goal, and everybody's faking injuries, getting carried off the field by stretchers.
Match squad.
Coming right back out the field.
Yeah.
Just so they could waste the 3 minutes or whatever it was so they can secure the victory. I don't like it at all because what he did was he wasted a shot on goal.
Yeah, he wasted
had a shot on goal.
Excellent opportunity.
He was open, one-on-one with the goalie. He was just afraid to shoot.
And let's be honest, that's big points because now Chelsea could have had 9 points after 3 games because remember they played Aston Villa midweek. They could have had the win there, a possible win. You never know, goals change games, but that would have been big for Chelsea as far as making Mourinho's return and the title hunt and all that stuff. Sure. That could come back to haunt them.
And it would have killed David Moyes is losing his first game at Old Trafford.
Yeah, exactly. And
that would have just put a huge damper on the season.
Big dampers on the season. Man City.
Yeah.
My pick to win the title lost to Cardiff, Wales, baby. Cardiff City. Beat them 3-2.
I love it. I don't know who scored the goals. Frankly, I don't care as long as Man City lost.
I know it wasn't great.
Excited.
They actually up 3-1.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
I'm looking at my phone, and now
I was watching it on the live soccer thing. I don't know what's up with the refs, but I honestly think there might be somewhat of a little get together because you watched it happen one year when Man U lost the title to Man City. Every time Man City's behind, they're given an extreme amount of extra time at the end of the game. They were given 5 minutes, they scored a goal, and it was almost like the same thing was going to happen.
Yeah, and they have the richest owner in all of soccer.
A sheik who owns like everybody. He owns your children.
It's
you may not know him yet. I don't know. He's an oil magnate.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the Saudi Arabian guy.
Yeah, Saudi Arabian.
He owns Man City, and they have $128 million to spend
every year. Yeah, it's like sneeze, and it's not $100 bills.
The best player in the world right now is worth $86 million.
Yeah, they can buy him.
They can buy the best player.
Not only that,
they
already spent like $75 million this year on Huvetic, Negredo, and Jesus Navas, and then they could go out like, you know what? It'll be over our budget by $30 million, but it's not a big deal because the oil.
Yeah, that's just their budget.
Yeah,
I'm not telling you what they could spend. It's just their budget of what they want to spend.
Yeah, and the thing about it is with the money in, they put the financial fair play in.
Yeah,
and it really hasn't done anything.
It hasn't done jack.
It's like a salary cap in the NFL that nobody listens to.
Look, I've seen leagues that put this in place. I think Australia has it, where everybody has like a couple $1 million.
The MLS has the designated player system.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Where you can. Okay.
You have to have 3 designated players most.
I've heard that. I've heard a little bit about it. I don't know much about it, but I mean, you have me I'm happy when
Man
they
U
win.
doesn't spend money like that.
No, they don't.
Man U's got a different system like Arsenal. Arsenal doesn't spend money like
They
that.
got about $30 million apiece.
Chelsea and Man City, however,
It's ridiculous.
they just spend money. I mean, look at Chelsea prior to Roman Abramovich being their owner.
It's the Yankees and the Red Sox.
Yeah, well, before Roman Abramovich, Chelsea was garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Then he bought the team. He spent tons of money. Next thing you know, they got Mourinho. They got, they had Lampard, but then they signed Drogba. They had Aaron Robin at one time.
Before, what's his name? Theo Epstein. The Red Sox were garbage.
Oh yeah,
So there you go. I mean,
spend
it's the
money.
Yankees and the Red Sox.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Thanks for watching segment 3 of Smack Talk. I'm Tony Gaglione.
I'm Shawn Adams. Stay tuned for segment 4.
Stay classy, Las Vegas.